Pisces, welcome to your tarot reading. If you're new, welcome in. If you're returning, welcome back. Either way, thank you so very much for being here. Thank you for sharing your energy with me. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to pull a traditional Celtic cross spread. Whatever message comes out is what the collective needs to hear at this time. I've set that intention with this deck and with my guides. So if you are here because this message popped up in your feed, then it's for you. And if you are here because of the title, then this message is definitely for you. So let's get into the tarot and see what Spirit has for you. Be sure and like the video and definitely subscribe if you like the messages. All of your interactions really help the channel to grow, so I very much appreciate that. But it also pushes the messages out for others so that they can get the guidance as well. And I really appreciate you doing that. On the bottom of the deck, we have this Three of Cups. The Three of Cups is about community. This is joy, happiness, right? Like togetherness, whatever you consider your community, right? This could be family, coworkers, friends. But this is like that celebration and enjoyment of those connections that you have that lift your spirits, right? So there could be some focus on family, friends, being more playful, having fun, focusing on spending times with friends and family, and then connecting with others, right? Because that's a good stress reliever and it rejuvenates your spirit. So definitely want to like kind of enjoy activities that make you feel expansive and joyous, and then surrounded by people that inspire and uplift you, right? Again, your community. So the situation is the Page of Swords, and the Page of Swords is about communication. This is about eagerness and an enthusiasm to learn, right? And it's about like being open to new ideas or like receiving messages, right? So you could be waiting to hear from someone, right? Waiting to hear for a message, or you could have received a message. It'll be different for each of you. But this is really about being confident about sharing your thoughts, your ideas, and communicating with others, right? Speaking your truth, being able to communicate and open up and express yourself, right? And maybe that's part of the joy, like finding happiness in expressing yourself, or being able to express yourself to your community and those that are around you. Um, being open to new ideas. So the blockage here for you is the Ace of Pentacles. So the aces are gifts from the divine, and the Pentacles is about stability and abundance, a new beginning. When this is in the blocked position, for me, it indicates that like there's an opportunity that you're not seeing. Maybe you're trying too hard to make something else work, or you're too focused on something else, right? It doesn't mean that, I mean, you could be heading in like a wrong direction, right? Spirit's trying to move you somewhere else. But I feel like there's an opportunity or an idea here that you're not seeing. Maybe you're just not open to it intuitively, or maybe you're just, you know, it's something you've just kind of missed up until now. Maybe try to loosen your grip on things, release that control, right? And go with the flow a little bit more. Open up to maybe even intuitive messages, because if you're really closed off, you're not going to receive those ideas and messages, right? You may not even be recognizing this opportunity or these messages because they're not coming in the form that you expect or the form that you have imagined, right? So I just feel like there's something you're not seeing here. So the root cause of this is the Page of Cups. So again, pages are the messengers of the tarot. And with the Page of Cups, this is emotional messages, and it's about emotional experiences, right? So maybe you're letting your emotions get the better of you instead of focusing on the facts, right? The truth of the matter. When you have a sword, it's about your thought processes. It's air energy. And maybe you feel like you can't really express yourself, right? Like we were talking earlier, this is about communication and expressing your ideas to friends, family, the community that you're dealing with right now with this present situation. This is you feeling like you can't express yourself. Maybe you're just taking things a little too seriously and you're not making the time for that joy and that happiness, right? And um, it could be like about being gentle with others' emotions, right? Others' feelings, and being a little more sensitive to those intuitive messages, to that those emotional experiences, right? So I feel like maybe just needing to have a little more love and compassion for others and for yourself. But this is about like expressing yourself kindly, or being able to express yourself from the heart, basically, right? When considering others' feelings, because this is about communication and you not seeing an opportunity in something here in order to express yourself. So in the recent past, what is still affecting this situation? We have the moon. So this is your energy. And you are very intuitive, right? Pisces is very in tune with spirit. But the moon is about illuminating what's been hidden and bringing things to the surface, right? Um, Trusting your intuition to move you through situations and seeing things for what they are, right? So this could be like underlying fears that you're facing. This can be things coming to light, right? Like you expressing your feelings and then things come to light all of a sudden, right? Um, but that, again, that moon energy is things that are hidden. So there could have been something, again, that you weren't seeing. And now you're like really needing to trust your intuition to move you forward, right? Really tapping in and not letting your fear hold you back, right? If you're trying to express yourself or trying to communicate and maybe you're not seeing the opportunity to do so, or maybe you're not seeing how you can express yourself, how you can um, talk to people, or give messages. Maybe this is intuitive messages that you're receiving that you want to give to others, but there is some kind of underlying fear and really needing to trust your intuition, especially when it's unknown, right? So you could be leaving a time of unknown and moving into some more clarity here, because the moon, again, is about things being hidden and the unknown. So the message from your higher self or your spirit guides here is the Eight of Swords. So the Eight of Swords is about being trapped, being controlled. You feel stuck in a situation. You feel trapped in a mindset, right? So this is like a self-imposed prison. Like there are solutions, there are ways to deal with this, but you're feeling restricted and trapped. And I feel like you just, again, need to tap into that patience and determination to find a way forward using your intuition, right? This person is blindfolded. They can't see with their eyes, right? And here we're not seeing things. Things are hidden. So this is, again, using your intuition to move you out of situations or to receive these messages in order to move forward, right? Because if you're feeling trapped or stuck in a situation, relying on your intuition to move you forward, quiet your mind. Don't let your fears get the better of you, because there's something you're just not seeing, right? With that moon and the Ace of Pentacles, like things are hidden. For whatever reason, you're just not seeing something here. And it could be because you're blocked, right? Like you feel trapped, you feel stuck because you're not tapping into your intuition. You're not trusting that inner knowing. In the immediate future, we have the Eight of Pentacles. So the Eight of Pentacles is about work. This is about really focusing on a task or your skill set here, right? Hard work, productivity. Like your skills are worth developing, right? Maybe you are going to be working more with your intuition and messages and, doing what you love is what's going to bring success, right? So this could be needing to trust your intuition in order to move forward with your skill set, or you just really focusing in on your intuition here, right? Putting in that work to overcome things and then really focusing on a task at hand here, right? It doesn't even have to be actual work. The Eight of Pentacles can just be about um, like whatever you've been studying, whatever you've been working on, and cultivating your spiritual practice will help like lead you forward. And then trusting that you can do anything that you set your intention toward, and you can achieve success through diligent work, right? And I feel like it's just about you really putting in the work and focusing on something here in the near future. Maybe putting in the work towards your intuition so that you can see things, or you may be working with others in your community in order to solve anything that you've been going through or to get yourself unstuck here. So, in your thoughts and fears, and your feelings, thoughts and feelings, we have the Queen of Swords. So, you could be dealing with a Queen of Swords. This is air energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. This could just be you feeling very defensive, feeling a little closed off here. So, the Queen of Swords is very good with her boundaries, right? She is very decisive. She speaks her truth. You could be feeling like you need to speak your truth, right? Or you needing to express yourself here, right? Needing to communicate, but doing so gently, right? Because the Queen of Swords can be very, I call her cutthroat, right? Like she has that big sword, so she's open to receive, but she has that big sword up, so she's going to cut things out that don't serve her. But, you know, try not to be overly critical of a person or a situation, right? And this can also be yourself, like self-criticizing um, and reacting defensively when you're confronted and letting your emotions prevail over reason, right? Like needing to use your logic because she is very logical. Again, she's very stable, but she does speak her truth, and standing up for your beliefs and sharing your wisdom with others, being able to communicate and speak from a place of love, right? So, this again, with the Queen of Swords, she can be very harsh, and I feel like when you focus on using your logic and reason rather than relying on your emotional expressions, you can come off very cutthroat or very harsh in your words, right? So this is needing to express yourself in a loving way with your community, right? Maybe you need to speak up about things that are going on, or you need to speak up about your feelings regarding a situation that you feel stuck or trapped in, which can have you feeling very defensive, right? When you feel stuck or trapped in something or restricted or like people are holding you back, that can make you very defensive. I've been there. We've all been there. But needing to express yourself from kindness and from love, right? And I feel like finding that balance between, wanting to talk to people, but then trying not to come off too harshly, right? So in your environment, the energy here is the Five of Cups. So the Five of Cups is about loss, sadness. This is some kind of disappointment, right? It can be like a heavy energy, maybe some kind of grief that's going on here. And, maybe you had a falling out with people here, or there's been some sort of loss that's just got you, excuse me, isolated, and just needing to acknowledge that and treat it with, again, compassion. Have patience with yourself and with others, because this is very much a card about healing, right? And, there's obviously been a loss here. This person's upset and they're focusing on everything that's going wrong here or everything that they've lost, but needing to, see the silver lining that there are still two cups here that you can work with, or there are still good things, right? But, you don't want to skip over the healing, right? Is basically what I'm trying to get at. Like with the Five of Cups, you want to embrace that healing, those emotions, and because your feelings are valid and you're allowed to express them, and you're allowed to heal from that. Give yourself some compassion and some space to heal. but you're also allowed to, talk about those feelings. Maybe you feel like you can't express yourself for some reason. So, in your hopes and fears, we have the Seven of Swords. So, the Seven of Swords can be about deception, lies, deceit. So, you could be fearing deception and lies, right? Like you could be fearing, um, some kind of manipulation going on here, or, feeling like something is hidden, right? And you want to open up and have an honest conversation because, again, we had the moon and then the Seven of Swords. So I feel like there's something about expressing yourself and something about being hidden. And this could have to do with a conversation, right? Because with the Page of Swords here, this is about communicating, and then Page of Cups is about expressing yourself emotionally. So I feel like there's some kind of conversation that needs to be had with your community, right? Again, with coworkers, with family members, with your friend group, whatever you consider your community, there is a conversation that needs to be had because I feel like things have been hidden, and maybe this could be somebody manipulating you. This could even be self-deception, right? You could be deceiving yourself and holding yourself back from expressing yourself, right? Maybe you're worried about if you express yourself, then people are going to be upset or they're going to have hurt feelings, right? But I feel like if you come from a place of love and compassion, it's going to, that's what's going to help you move things forward. In your hopes, this could have to do with doing things differently and strategizing, right? Like you're hoping that things can turn out differently, or you're hoping to kind of strategize and do things differently moving forward. So the potential outcome here is the High Priestess. And I love that. That's probably not the outcome you wanted, but the High Priestess is very much about, um, again, that communication and things being hidden. Because she is all about things behind the veil and, under the surface, right? Like the moon card here. It's very much about that illuminating what has been hidden. So I feel like things are going to be illuminated here. Trusting your intuition and your higher self and looking within is going to give you the answers that you need. And I know that that's not what you want to hear, but even in the beginning of this, I said Pisces is a very intuitive sign. Like you are very spiritual, you are very intuitive. Like you're the moon and you have that High Priestess energy, right? Like you have the answers that you need. It's just tapping into that and trusting yourself to follow your intuition. Even though it doesn't make logical sense at first, trusting your intuition is going to get you where you need to go, right? And then trust your feelings instead of overthinking or over analyzing the situation. But I really feel like maybe, and this could be you reconnecting with your intuition and your spiritual practice, right? But being able to express yourself and then trusting yourself and your intuition moving forward here. So I really feel like you're going to tap into that intuition and your higher self and clear your mind and then ask your heart for the answers, right? And really express yourself here, from a kind and loving place. Trust your intuition on how to navigate the situation. Because when you're dealing with friends and family, if they truly love you, then you should be able to express yourself in a loving way, right? So, yeah, I really love that message. I just feel like you're kind of dealing with, feeling trapped or feeling stuck in something. And I feel like you've been keeping something hidden, and it's time to express yourself, right? It's just time to trust your intuition and trust yourself on how to guide you forward and have this conversation that you need to have. Speak your truth, right? That's important to be who you are. So I hope that message helped, and I will see you next time. Bye.